the rapper.
I'm not doing it again.
So the question I have is, you know, when actors and actresses are just starting out, they are, you know, sometimes working class, starving, you know, an extra for very little money on a commercial or something like that, hoping for their big break. Then, you know, as actors who are in an iconic movie that, you know, maybe at different times of your career you could never even escape, even if you wish you could. Do any of you have sort of anecdotes about, you know, maybe in that peak or the valley of like, oh, I can't wait to do this again, or I can't believe I have to do this again, you know, struggling with that fame and wanting to be maybe bigger in a different kind of genre?
Oh, I'm big enough.
Yeah. Well, except you. You were huge in everything.
I was talking about something else, brother. Mind there for a second.
Yeah, I was working at Universal Studios parking lot when Nerds came out. And I was literally like, it's $3 for the first hour, $5. They went, aren't you Lamar? I'm like, it's $3 for the first hour, $5 each hour after.
I had an IBM commercial that was running throughout filming, throughout the Olympics, and it was me wheeling in a typewriter, and you know, it wasn't Timothy Busfield doing the commercial. I played a character in the commercial, so we were all, you know, except for, you know, Bobby, for the most part, Anthony Edwards and Curtis had a couple features, and Curtis had Risky Business, but for the most of us, we were not any kind of recognizable names at all in the film, and so we were, especially Don.
Yeah, I did Gone with the Wind, I think.
So, you know, and I will add to the part just quickly that, you know, sometimes I do a little teaching, and I'll say there are 3 parts to our process. There's the audition process, there's the rehearsal performance process, which is what you do after you get the part, and then there's dealing with not getting the job. And if you're not good at dealing with not getting the job, you don't survive in this business, because you win a few, you lose 14. It's really hard to sustain. So we all have stories of what it's like to be on the roller coaster. And, you know, I direct and produce. I'm fortunate that I have those, but, you know, the roller coaster's there, and there's no way around it for everybody. Everybody.
And you never know when you start a project how that project is gonna do. You don't know if it's gonna be a hit. You don't know if it's gonna be in the trash bin. It's just kind of a crapshoot so many times. So when you hit something when you're in something that resonates, it's like the coolest feeling. It's the coolest thing. And just to be around all of you, we get a chance to meet that maybe the Nerds movies affected you. It affects us that we get a chance to meet you, and we thank you so much for just saying hello.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that from the actor's point of view is you always want to do the project. You always work on the project to get you to the big project. You always think like, okay, this one's going to get me to the next one, or this one's going to get me to the really big one, and you sometimes don't know the one that you just did is the big one. Right. So I was doing a film called Karate Kid at the time, and I was supposed to go back and do reshoots, but I couldn't do it because I booked a small film called Revenge of the Nerds, and they were clowning me. They were like, "You're going to do what? You're going to play what? Instead of doing this?" And as an actor, you don't know. You don't get to pick and choose what you guys like and see. You think it's going to be one thing, and now the delivery process is sped up. Before it used to be, I mean, you know, a year, maybe 2 before your project dropped. So by the time it came out, you were long as an actor thinking about your next piece. You don't know. Now it speeds up, and you don't know what's going to be big. In fact, if you talk to any of us, we think everything we do is going to be the next one. It's going to be the best one. But y'all get to pick and choose, and thank you for picking and choosing this.
Well, I just love the fact that 20th Century Fox sent us off into the desert hoping we would fail, and we wound up making them a lot of money.
Now we were the bastard studio children out in the hinterlands.
Now you're all Disney heroes, the way things work. We haven't heard much from Andrew, so I'm curious.